on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we are live on YouTube. How is everybody doing today? How are you all doing today? It's not as windy today as it has been the past few days. It is about 72 degrees here at the trail in Redwood City, California. It is a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day. It's a perfect day for a walk. Another walk with purpose. And I've got another great topic here today for you folks. It's a very important topic that I'm more than sure every single person on the planet has experienced this at one point or another. And for many of us, we've experienced this many times throughout our lives. Lives. Sorry. Angie C., how are you doing? Welcome to the show. She says beautiful. Yeah, it's not bad out here. It's nice. Thank you for the compliment. I love where I live. I'm very happy here. I love this area. And I also feel very, very fortunate to have been born and raised in such a wonderful area. I don't take it for granted for a second, Angie, you know? But thank you for that. So, I'm going to wait here because we got some people coming. I'm going to just show you the beauty and see who's here. Got 9 people here. 7 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. Who else is in the house right now just not speaking? We'll wait. People are probably just getting the notification. Before we get to the topic today, I want to let you folks all know my lady and I have had a wonderful day. My lady went to another AA meeting today with me. Wow, Nashville with 4 hearts. Well, hello, Nashville. Well, you got timed out by Nightbot for excessive emojis. Welcome to the channel. How'd you find out about us? A bunch of people just entering and exiting at the same time, so I'm just waiting to give people their space. Tell us a little bit more about you, Nashville. Nashville channel or Nashville YouTube username. Or Nashville sock account. Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams. The copycat. How you doing, GLM? Welcome. There are a lot of people that are just popping on the trail right now. I'm just gonna wait for the people that are entering behind me to pass me. Hey Sandra, how you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. I'm just keeping it low for now because I want to be respectful of the people passing me by. Yeah, my lady and I had a wonderful day today. Like I was saying, she, who's that? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, there she is, the lady of every hour here in my neck of the woods. I got a special announcement regarding my lady in a second, so stick around for that. Hi, Eli and everyone. Hey, Hollies, hauntings, and happenings. How are you doing? Welcome. Give me a second here. I think those gentlemen are just going to be doing some sightseeing at the bridge, but who knows? Maybe they might come out on a walk. So Malene and I had a phenomenal day today. Went to an AA meeting, and we're probably going to go to another one. She really likes this one particular group at the same location for an AA meeting, and they do lots of meetings. They do lots of meetings at many locations, but this is one where they do lots of meetings at, like, regularly. And so it's a really good group of people. It's to me, it's more than just an AA group. It's like a personal development group. And every time I go with my lady there to support her, it's just amazing to hear all of the success stories, and even people that are still struggling with alcoholism. And they've slowed down their alcohol and they're trying to completely cut it out, and they're just coming out and sharing their stories and just speaking their truth. And that's just incredible to me, right? And what a lot of these people don't even realize is that they're becoming phenomenal public speakers, where in the future they can do something similar as what I do out here to help other people that are struggling with alcohol and maybe other aspects of their life. You see, folks, that's how life coaches and coaches in general are born, through personal experience, right? J-Dog One Party, how you doing? Nashville says, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Well, that would make sense. How'd you find out about the channel, Nashville channel? Just kind of curious to know. We like to know where people come from because we want to know where to better market. My lady and I want to know where to better market our stuff in the future. Is that you, Coach Sharon, before I can't see you there in the sun? Hey, brother and chatters. Hey, how you doing, Coach Sharon? Welcome to the show. Hope your day's going well. And then my lady and I ran a couple of other errands after that. It was a beautiful drive on the way to running these errands, and we just had a great time. We had a great conversation along the way, and just talking about future things. Been a real simple day. Then came home, relaxed a little bit, and now I'm out for a walk here to spend some time with you good folks. Now, by the way, later tonight, my lady and I will definitely be doing a live stream from the studio right here on Coach Eli 2 Authentic Live Streams. And it's going to start around 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, maybe a little bit sooner. It just all depends on how quickly I can do this walk and head back home, set up the stream, and then we're going to do it. We're only going to be on probably for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half max, depending on how many people show up. And my lady has some, great information to share. There's a topic that she's wanted to discuss for a while. And I'm not quite sure if we're going to display it on the screen. It's from a website, but we want to more so start to cater our shows away from websites and more so interacting with the audience. Maybe using the, websites as a reference point, but not really having to, keep the website up and reading it verbatim. we're beginning to more so realize that the engagement is what people really like the most. You know, people want to be able to share their thoughts regarding what they're going through, what they're experiencing, and get our opinions on what we think and what would help them make things better on their end. And the overwhelming acceptance, says lady. My lady, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Shell says, hey, J-Rom. J-Rom says, my day is finally over. Got chicken and veggies cooking and looking forward to bed. I hear you, man. You know, I'm not going to lie. My days have been very overwhelming lately. Very, very overwhelming. There's been a lot going on. Same with my lady. Her days have been very overwhelming too. And this is not just with our business and YouTube stuff. This is within our personal lives and, you know, planning for us to move in together might happen sooner than we initially expected. And so there's just going to be, oh man, there's just going to be a lot going on. And once this move happens, I mean, you know, my lady's place isn't super big, but she has a couple of big items, a very big TV and a big bed, like a queen size bed. And yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to get that stuff where we need to get it. Or maybe, I'm just thinking, baby, we put that stuff in storage. There's a lot going on, folks, and it gets really, really overwhelming. 2 men in the truck. No, I know. We could pay a moving company to do it, but it's quite a distance. And I mean, it's going to be, it's not going to be cheap, Coach J-Rom. It's not going to be cheap. So, you know, we're trying to do all of this on a budget because we've had to spend money elsewhere unexpectedly. And so, you know, we're just, it's, there are a lot of expenses. A lot of expenses at times that come up that are unexpected, and you know, you got to find ways to make everything happen within your budget. Now, I've used movers before, and you know, I mean, nowadays it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be at least $1,000. Based on the distance, you know, of over 50 miles. And so, you know, cost of gas is up and all that. So, you know, you just take it with a grain of salt. You take it one step at a time, and, you know, you find ways to make things happen. You know, I love my woman. My woman loves me. And, I've always been the type of guy that somehow, some way, I figure everything out. And that's, you know, part of what inspired me to do this topic here today is, you know, when you think you're out of options, you're actually not. We'll get to that in just a few here. Got 8 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Appreciate it. They make quick work of moving, but you're right. They're expensive. It cost me $800 to move across town. Right. Even moving down the street, it's going to be close to $1,000. For something that lengthy, it may be $2,000 to $3,000. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know if my lady really realize realizes what the expense is going to be to move her stuff. Now she's got some great friends, and what we may just do temporarily is maybe have one of her friends help us out if they have a truck, and maybe take her big TV in her bed and store it there. We could pay them a little something each month. There are always ways to figure things out, folks. Always ways to figure things out. Sell the items and start fresh. Well, that's another option. Thank you. See, I love how my audience is so helpful. There are always options. Even when you feel you're out of options, there are always options. There's a lot more to discuss regarding this topic here, and we'll get to that in just a second. I have friends with trucks and brothers. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If anybody, see, here's the thing. I have resources too, but I don't have those kind of resources. I've got business networking resources. My woman has resources for physical labor and stuff like that. And if anyone ever asks, why I'm with this woman, is because she's very resourceful and she knows how to get shit done too. And together we make a great team. I only want my mattress, TV, recliner, and a couple side tables. Okay. Well, everything else, babe, in your place, is not a big deal. We could bring it. But see, right then and there, folks, you just saw something in real time. A situation that I've been contemplating. I haven't fully discussed with my lady yet on how we're going to do the move. And boom. Right when you think you don't have any other options, when you think you're out of options, you actually aren't. There are always plenty of options. That's not much. I have several strong friends. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Do I actually have 54 in the box legitimate? Because, I mean, that's what it looks like. It doesn't matter. I'm just like, I'm not seeing the number go like up to 100 something where I know it wouldn't be legitimate, but heck. No, it's been jumping, and I really don't care. If that one same person, wants to play games every day, I don't care. I'm just noticing on my end it's not moving up. It's moving up, but not moving up fast. So, I mean, here's the thing. When it's just me putting out my content, then those numbers could be legit. Or maybe they set it to rise more slowly so it appears real. So I talk about it. Like that's how crazy this stuff gets. But it doesn't bother me one way or another. No big deal. But thank you, Coach Sharon. Thank you. You can always tell on the replay how many real views there are because YouTube automatically filters out the botted ones. And heck, if anything, when people bot you, it makes you look like you have more people there than you don't. And sometimes people that weren't going to tune in will check you out because of that alone. So it's like, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? U-Haul trucks are cheap, $30 a day if you got the muscle. Yeah, no, we could U-Haul it. It's just that I'm at the point right now. I've done U-Haul so many times. I've also got my sciatica I'm still trying to work through. I just don't want to push myself to do another move. I've done plenty of moves in my life, and I've helped many other people move. And I'm at the point right now where I just don't have the time or the energy to do it. I mean, I have the energy, it's just I need to focus my energy elsewhere. The muscle I have owns trucks. Oh, and I'm donating all my fat clothes. Well, baby, you were never really fat. You were just a little bit more thicker. I've seen your pictures when you were thicker. You were still really cute. Like either way, the way you look now or the way you look back then, it wouldn't matter to me. You're still beautiful. What's most beautiful about you is your heart and soul. That's the hardest thing to find nowadays about people, is their heart and soul. I'm going to just pull up this side and let this person pass for a second here. Today I'm going to share a story where I felt I had run out of options. After I had a ton of options regarding, this aspect of my life and what I did to overcome it. Because whenever you feel you're running out of options because things change, right? And it's not as easy to accomplish certain things. When that changes, right? You sometimes will start to feel like you're running out of options and the walls are closing in. How many of you out there have ever had that feeling where the walls were starting to close in? Where no matter what you did or said, didn't matter. The walls just started closing in. And you knew it was only a matter of days or weeks before the walls were going to start to really, really close in. And it started to get you to panic. And maybe you started to fall into a depression or whatever, right? How many of you have felt that way before, right? Because if you haven't ever felt that way, you really haven't experienced life. Because everyone has gone through that at one point or another. And I've learned from my past experience in those situations to not let that get to me. Because here's the thing. The walls are going to close in at some point, whether you're worried about them closing in or not, right? And if you want to give yourself the best chance of the walls not closing in, then you can't overthink it. Yeah, you can identify that, hey, wow, okay, I need this to happen by this amount of time, but, or I'm not going to be able to pay a certain bill, or I'm going to be evicted from my place, or I'm not going to have insurance coverage, but I don't pay my insurance. There's a lot that people worry about, right? But if you overthink it and you let it consume you, you're not going to be able to figure out the solution on how to prevent it, right? And there are other solutions, folks, and I had to take this solution at one point in my life, and I hope to never have to do it again because I've put myself in a position where, I'm never going to do that again. It's never going to happen. But, a little over 13 years ago or so, I had to file bankruptcy. Many people have filed bankruptcy. And it's really nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of people out here on YouTube seem to be ashamed of stuff like that. But everybody, not everyone, but many people have done it, right? That's a last resort there. So you do have options. You folks do have options. Let me reset the chat. I think the chat has stagnated for a second. Let me know who's still out there. It says we have 45 in the box. That seems to be legit. Hey, babe. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate that. Thanks, Holly. And baby, thank you. Thank you, baby, for being so mature about everything. I really, really appreciate that. Really do. I'll tell you, my lady, in 6 months, has figured out the YouTube game quicker than anyone else I've known on this platform that has been a part of the YouTube community trying to figure out the game. I'm very proud of her. And again, before we get further into the topic, tonight, more than likely around 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, my lady and I are going to do a stream here together on Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams for about an hour and a half max, depending on how many people are engaging. And she's got a topic she wants to discuss, but we're going to do it in a way where we're more so engaging the audience like we have been. And we may not even put this article on the screen. We may just read off of it and discuss it. And I think that's what we should do, babe. I think what I want to do more so on the live streams on Coach Eli 2 is just engage the audience and answer questions. And if we're going to talk about something, we can refer to an article or a blog, but not put it on the screen. We can leave all that content for Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, the main channel, for pre-recorded, content. So that's what I'm thinking about, how we should do it tonight. But her and I will briefly talk about it when I get back home, and we'll just go live and make a show and be there for you folks. But yeah, I was asking everyone out here, have any of you ever felt like the walls were starting to close in regarding something? And how did you overcome that feeling? And if it's not too personal, what was making you feel? What caused you to feel like the walls were closing in? And how did you handle it? Because it's more important how you handle it. You've got to stay laser focused. Even though, if you know that the walls are closing in and time is running out to, make some things happen or it'll affect other things. You can't sit there and let that overly consume you to the point of where you can't do what you need to do to overcome that, right? How did you folks handle those situations? Coach Eli says, I'm still here too, just cooking. Coach Eli says, it happened when I had my PC repair business and when I had my first trucking company, I sold them both. So what people don't understand, Coach Eli, is that sometimes when you first start a business, it may do well, or you may think it may do well, but it doesn't do as well as quickly as you anticipated, And in order to cut your losses, you had to sell them when you sold them and then restart them, or at least restart the trucking business when you felt it was more feasible. But you could feel the expenses going out versus the money coming in. And it kind of gives you that feeling of the walls are closing in, right? Like, shit, I'm going to run out of money if I don't sell this thing. This thing is sucking my money dry, right? Now, a lot of people have been, concerned about, my business out here on YouTube. It really doesn't cost a lot of money to run this business. And that's why I've been able to do it. Because it's not really costing me anything. I have the equipment. It's free to use YouTube. And, I'm paying for home internet and, my phone plan anyway. So whether I did it or not, it wouldn't change anything. It's the time I'm investing into it where I could be doing something else, right, and bringing in more money. But I'm not losing money, which is the key to me, right? If you're losing money, if you're pouring money into a business and you're losing money, that's a different story. Versus doing what I do and just pouring in time. Yes, time can be money. But if you're not losing money and you got other income sources, there's nothing wrong with doing something like what I'm doing here. I don't feel like the walls are closing in when it comes to my business out here on YouTube, because it's really not costing me anything to run it besides my time. And I've, found ways to fit it in, to where it does not affect other aspects of my life, such as my relationship with my lady and family and other things going on. Let's see. Holly says, when my hubby had his accident, had to be strong emotionally for my kids. Furthermore, Holly says, very hard not to cry in front of your kids when things like that happen. Are you saying wow to Holly's situation, babe? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally? First of all, Holly, there's nothing wrong with crying in front of your kids. And number one, I know you're a strong woman, and I know both you and your husband work and provide for your kids, but you're still a lady. And it's perfectly normal for you to have emotional moments. It's also perfectly normal for your husband to have emotional moments at times as a man. Yes, he needs to be the strong one for the most part, most of the time. But even it's okay for him to have emotions. That's a human thing, right? To all situations discussed, says my lady. Yeah. So Holly, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with showing emotion. And then reassuring your kids at the same time that daddy's going to be okay. And it sounds like to me you handled it the best way you could. The best way you knew how. Right? Taking everyone's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration, including your kids and your husband's, right? And your own. That's a chopper flying pretty low. That's like a black chopper. What is that, Black Ops or something? You folks coming to get me? I mean, that chopper is flying really, really low. I mean, it's okay for them to fly that low as long as they're flying above buildings. But they must be looking for something if they're flying that low. Damn. All right. We didn't think he would survive, so it was hard. Are you serious, Holly? Are you serious about that? I never knew that, Holly, until now. Like, I know you had told me about the situation back then, but I didn't even know how serious it was. Maybe you just finally felt comfortable to share it because now he's okay. But God bless your husband and you and your family. Wow. That's, wow. I'm at a loss for words. My lady says, that's deep and scary, says my lady. That's a situation where, you definitely are going to feel the wall starting to close in. You being a mother with 2 kids, and you're uncertain whether your husband's going to be around anymore or not. I can only imagine how that felt. I mean, I don't know what you can tell your kids at that point. Like, you just have to keep praying and telling them everything's going to be okay. Daddy's going to be okay. And if something were to happen to him, I know how that would have felt too. See, nobody ever thinks about these situations until they're too late, right? No one wants to think about these situations. Unfortunately, we have to think about these situations. We have to plan ahead for the inevitable. Like yesterday, I was talking about, you've got to take other people's actions into consideration. Especially on the road, you've got to think about what other people are doing. You've got to, be a good driver yourself, but you have to anticipate. There's the word I'm looking for. You have to anticipate other people's actions. It could save your life, right? From what I've learned in life, folks, and this is probably one of the best tips I can give you, you have to anticipate things in life. Give me a second here. I got somebody coming over here, so I'm going to wait for them to pass. You always want to anticipate things happening, because in that way you can almost kind of predict things and protect yourselves from whatever would have happened, or prepare yourselves for something that is inevitable to happen. Such as, hey, if somebody passes away, you don't want to think about it, but you gotta be ready. And you've got to be prepared. You can't let it blindside you. Holly says, that's why every day is a blessing to me. You can play online all you want, but when your stuff gets tough in real life, it changes your perspective about everything. It does. It really does, Holly. It really does. And that's why, That's why for me, it's like I've just learned how to tune out stupid shit in life, online and offline. And that's another thing I'm trying to help people figure out, right? And some people, no matter how many times you try to make them aware that, hey, you're beating a dead horse. What you're doing is not going to get you anywhere, right? Cut your losses now, right? And move on. And Coach Eli says, anticipate and never hesitate. Hesitation will get you killed. Right. You know, that's a very, 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 very good point, Coach Eli. I'm glad you feel the same way about that. You know, anticipate and never hesitate. Because hesitation could get you killed, right? Like I was saying yesterday, you should always be on the offense, never be on the defense, right? Because when you're defensive, you know, you're reacting to what's already happened. When you're on the offense, you're trying to prevent something from happening. You're always taking into consideration, which is what I'm trying to say, what could possibly happen based on the surroundings you're in, right? And you're anticipating everyone else's move. Whenever you turn left at a light, you got to look left, right. You got to look in your rear view mirror. You got to look ahead. You got to look at all your surroundings and look at anything potentially out of the ordinary. You got to anticipate somebody running a red light. And even if you have the right of way and they run the red light and you're in their way, guess what's happening, right? You got to anticipate all that, right? Yesterday's story was a great one. Check out my stream from yesterday if you missed that. You start to realize what's really important and not petty disagreements and spite. Vengeance does not help you heal yourself mentally or physically, says Holly. You're right. You know, that's why I've gotten to the point in my life, Holly, where anyone that, you know, tries to trash talk me online or offline, I just ignore it completely. Even in person, you know, sometimes people will try to trash talk me. I'll just keep walking. I'll look the other way. All right? There are times when I'm on the trail or heading to the trail from the parking lot and, you know, some young dudes, and it's always guys, because women aren't as vile as guys are. I mean, I'm not saying women can't be vile, but they're just not as vile as guys are. At least there are fewer vile women than guys. But guys nowadays, you know, they'll trash talk anything. It's an insecurity, right? And when I'm walking on the way to the trail and some guys try to trash talk me, I'll just say, hey, have a good one. That's it. And I'll move on, right? Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to get your reaction. They're trying to get your attention. And then you can go and say, hey, dude, you know, don't trash talk while I'm on the air. Well, dude, then they're going to do it more, right? And then they might cause an actual physical fight, which you want to avoid, right? All you got to say, hey, cool, right on, guys, have a good one, bye. Right, that's it. I've got a lady come behind me from the observation deck that passed me earlier. I'm going to pull up to the side over here, run around the corner, let her pass. Show you some more views of the beautiful sun going down. I see so many on social media that are killing themselves with bitterness, vengeance, and spite. Well, you know what, Holly? That's the problem nowadays. The problem nowadays is people have substituted social media instead of socializing in real life. Now, if you do both, that's the best mix. You see, the whole purpose of social media is, in my opinion, You can run a business out here. You can have a following out here. But you should also consider doing something with that following in real life. And you should also have, a social life in real life, right? My lady and I, within the next year to two, when we really get this thing going, we plan on touring the U.S. and driving through every state and having meetups in different areas and maybe broadcasting them live, right? You see, that's what social media was initially created for, but nowadays social media has become a substitute for real life interactions, and it's not the same. It's absolutely not the same. Is it cool? Is social media cool? Yeah. Is it cool for us to communicate through video and the live stream, me walking and you folks chatting in the chat? Sure, it's cool, right? It is cool. But there's nothing better than real life interaction. Yeah, Holly, I'll get to your other messages in a second. I know you've been posting a bunch of messages. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen because it's so bright. Some dude riding his mountain bike on here. That's awesome. Traffic on the 101 is moving at about 15 to 30 miles per hour. That's not really that bad, actually. There is traffic, but it's actually moving. It's not moving at 65, but it's moving. I keep thinking about that Travis Tritt song, It's a Great Day to Be Alive, right? My lady and I love that song. We love Travis Tritt. He's got that raspy voice. Nothing better than that country music from the 90s. And you know what? Speaking of Travis Tritt, instead of continuing to entertain people that don't deserve your entertainment, you could figuratively say this to them, because nobody uses payphones nowadays. But back in the days when that song came out, it cost $0.25 to make a phone call on a payphone before we all had cell phones. And Travis would be like, here's $0.25, call someone who cares, right? Call someone who listen, might give a damn to every one of your sordid affairs, right? Yeah, that's good shit. Carl L. Good morning, Eli. Carl L. Do I know you? Are you someone from the past that hasn't been around for a while? Don't tell me you're that Carl, the wheelchair gaming guy, right? Are you that same Carl? Good morning. That's you, huh? Yes, baby. Oh, you heard me sing that, baby? Let me pull over and let somebody pass me real quick. Yeah, baby. Travis is like, well, I thought what we had could never turn bad. So you're leaving, caught me unaware, right? But the fact is you've run, girl, that can't be undone. Here's $0.25, call someone who cares, right? I used to have a stock account called Carney Carl, hey GLM. My baby says, I love your singing. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. You're probably the only one that loves my singing in a biased way, baby. Baby, thank you. Thank you for your biased opinion about my singing. It's all good, baby. I still love you. I'm really honest, folks. I'm really, really super honest, man. Baby, I look forward to our show tonight. I can't wait to do it. We haven't done one in a little while since that show we did last week. It's going to be awesome. Hey, Marshmallow. Holly, I'm great. How are you? Holly says, hey, GLM. How you doing? Yeah, good evening, Carl. Carl, you're a wheelchair gaming guy, right? Yeah, correct me if that's wrong. Have you been? What have you been up to? Holly's hauntings and happenings. You know what I'd love to see here right now? I'd love to see Scotty Unchained 2.0. I've got to say, I'm really proud of Scotty lately. She's been really turning things around. I think if Scotty is just able, and she's almost there. I feel her. I feel her turning things around. No, that's right. Just been busy in my job. Oh, great, Carl. Well, thank you for being here. What else has been going on, bro? And Carl, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like the walls were closing in? This is what we're talking about today as the primary topic. Have you ever felt like you've run out of options? Right? Because if you felt that way, there are actually plenty of options, even when we feel that way. But again, thank you for being here, bro. It's really nice to run into you again. Is your wheelchair gaming guy channel still unblocked? I thought I had it unblocked, or do you not use it anymore? Just kind of wondering, man. So I was going to share a story. I'll share my story now. And I'll get to the chat in between. Carl says, all the time, but there is always upside in the end. You're right, bro. That's a great attitude to have. Thank you for your positive attitude, bro. I appreciate it, man. You're a good guy. You've always been. We've got 50 in the box and 17 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, folks. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Or appreciate it, everyone, man or woman. Well, we are equal opportunists here. But I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by these planes. I love planes. My lady and I, we were driving by Moffett Field yesterday in Mountain View. And I was telling her, you know, my dad used to take me to watch the Blue Angels there. And I asked her, has she ever seen the Blue Angels? She said, yeah. She goes, she loves the Blue Angels. I said, well, the next time the Blue Angels are anywhere in the Bay Area, especially Moffett Field, we're going. The Blue Angels are badass, man. I would never attempt anything that they do. Like one slight wrong move and you've got, oh man, it's over. Not only over for everyone in the sky, but probably for everyone on the ground too. Oh my God. If you've never seen the Blue Angels, man, that is, it's a trip, I'll tell you that. It's an experience unlike anything else. Those are absolutely the most experienced fighter pilots on the planet. I think they're all Air Force pilots too, or at least former Air Force pilots. You should skydive. It's fun. I don't know, man. I'm honestly, my lady and I are both afraid of heights. I'm not, no joke. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not a big fan of heights. It's exhilarating, says my lady. Hell no, she says. Let me see. She says hell. Oh, she misspelled it. Okay. So, one of the times where I really felt like the walls were closing in, I was laid off from my retail management job. Like a year or two before the '08 crash. And during that time, before that time, it was real easy to get any job you wanted. Like, I had experience. I could get any job I wanted. Assistant manager, store manager, district manager, whatever. I could have gotten any job I wanted, right? I had so much experience in retail, and I knew so many people and all that. But I got laid off because they were downsizing, because retail sales started to fall. And even a few years before that, things were starting to tighten up a little bit. We actually saw this recession happening. And this was actually, to be honest with you, this is what actually happened. This is what Amazon did to everyone. This is what the internet has done, especially Amazon has done to all businesses. Right? But we didn't know what was really going on back then. I can look back now and really understand what happened, right? I went to try to get another job, and the only job that wanted to hire me was U-Haul. Speaking of U-Haul, Coach J. Rom, I think I've shared this story once in the past or twice in the past, but it's buried on my other channel or even on my older former channel that doesn't exist. But, U-Haul wanted to hire me far less than what I was making as a store manager, making $44,000 a year, working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and if the technician wasn't there to repair the trucks, I had to repair the trucks as a store manager. They wanted to hire me. I said, fuck that, in my head. And I didn't take the job. And I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get anyone to return my calls with my stellar resume and experience. I tried to call all my resources. They were struggling to keep their jobs. Like, it was a tough time. 06, 07. This is before things happened, right? And at that point, before I wasted any more time, because I had some money in the bank to carry me through for a couple years, I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to school and get my insurance licenses. It was a scary time. It was a moment where I felt the walls closing in. Even though I had savings and other stuff, right? And even though I knew I could survive for a few years with my savings and all that, right? You don't want to dip into that stuff unless you have to, right? You still get that feeling like the walls are closing in. But say, you know what? I'm going to become self-employed. I made the transition. I used some other resources. I got my insurance licenses. And I'm not going to go through the whole story again, but to make a long story short, about a year to year and a half or so after I started, selling insurance, and getting things going in the business and all that. Sorry, I'm distracted by another plane. That's when I replaced my income. When I say replaced my income, I was making You know, I matched what I was making at the best job I ever had in retail and retail management. And I did it with about 6 months worth of income left in the bank. Now think about walls closing in again after you've got something good going for you, right? That clock is ticking, right? And then after I got my rhythm in the business for the next year and a half to 2 years, is where I really pushed and built up a great clientele. Work hard for 3 years. You go to tons of networking events. I used to go to 4 or 5 networking a week. I would write insurance policies from Starbucks, Pete's, for my car. I had an air card back then. I had an AT&T air card before these smartphones came out. And now you can, use hotspots and all that, right? I had an AT&T air card. The first one was a 3G. It was quite painfully slow, but it worked. Then I got the 4G LTE one when it first came out. Even before 4G LTE was widely available, it would still revert back to 3G. I was writing policies. Even when the walls are closing in, folks, even when you feel that, there's nowhere left to go, there's always somewhere left to go. I'm sorry, Carl. You were timed out by Nightpop. My apologies, man. Even when you feel you're out of options, you all have options. And what I'm telling you, folks, is that stay calm. Stay calm, even when you feel the walls are closing in. If you stay calm, you're going to be able to refocus and figure out a way out of anything, any jam that you're in. Never give up hope. Well, the moment you give up hope, Angie C, is the moment that you fail, right? See, the reason why people fail is because they feel that they have no other options. They feel like they've exhausted all their options. And there's never such a thing as exhausting all of your options. There are always more options. I think most people know that. It's just that most people aren't willing to do certain options to keep afloat or stay afloat, right? Especially nowadays with our youth, Gen Y and Gen Z. Let's just call them that, Gen Y and Gen Z, right? A lot of these people aren't willing to do certain options to stay afloat. So they feel that they're out of options and they give up, right? Can somebody tell me what Carl said? Can you copy and paste what Carl put in the chat, Holly, please? Got 19 thumbs up. 51 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's interesting. These numbers today are legitimate numbers. Interesting. Well, thank you to those that are watching that may not have the ability to chat here. I hope even those of you that are watching that don't have the ability to chat will one day realize that there are better ways to spend your time more positive ways in life to spend your time. Maybe one day the epiphany will hit you. You are doing good, says Angie C. Well, thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, tonight's show is even going to be better. This is my informal show that I do on my walks, from my walks. More of my formal shows, which are also semi-informal too. Or semi-formal. Either way. That'll happen tonight with my lady. Right here on Coach Eli too. And again, folks, I have not had a chance, based on everything that's been going on outside of YouTube with the incredible amount of things my lady and I have had to do lately. Haven't had time to get anything on the main channel. The last thing I posted was a few weekends ago. A couple of YouTube Shorts video, and one of them went kind of semi-viral. It got like almost 1,300 views. My lady and I saw a male chicken, a rooster, a cock, at a Northern California tourist area where we were at eating dinner at their restaurant, and before that we were at the Renaissance Fair at that place. It's called Casa de Fruta. It's right off of the Pacheco Pass Highway, Highway 152. So can somebody copy and paste what Carl L... The L, I remember what the L stands for. It's the name of a car, right, Carl? Carl L. Like there's a SUV called the Navigator, made by a company with your same last name, Carl. Eli, you really need to fire Nightbot, LOL. Well, you know, Holly, Nightbot gives me a certain level of protection to the point of where it's a lot easier to moderate my channels. Without Nightbot, it would be very hectic. Without Nightbot's block word list and YouTube's block word list, this my chat would be difficult to manage for myself, the innocent people here that want to genuinely participate. And that's that. Yeah, it would just be difficult to run a show. Let's put it that way. It's been a really nice walk today, I'll tell you that. It's been a beautiful walk. Lots of nice people on the trail. It's really nice to see people of all shapes and sizes come on this trail trying to get healthy and fit. That's just an awesome thing. I mean, the people that are fit, you know, like myself, yeah, that's cool. But when I see people that are just out of shape or a little thick and they're trying to tone up a bit and they're trying to get in better shape, that's very inspirational to me. Holly said, Carl said, I don't know what blocked word I use anyway. You have a great day. I will try to make your other show. Have a great day. Thank you, Carl. Angie C says, I need to walk. I need the exercise. Carl said nothing wrong. No, he didn't. There's just some spillover block words that Nightbot has programmed. I've got to go back in and really refine Nightbot on both channels. More so on this one because I don't know. I'm not saying I'm never going to run a live stream on my main channel, but I may run some premiere videos there that have live chats. Well, baby, I'll tell you what. Let me turn off Nightbot and the YouTube block words list and unblock all the trolls right? And then let's see what happens, right? You want me to do that, baby? I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in backtracking. We've got about, I'd say, a little less than 20 minutes before we're going to be going off the air. Getting to the last part of the trail. I can see the apartments from here. Please get any questions, comments, or concerns in the chat. If you have any other, business or personal questions you'd like to get my opinions on, get some advice on, I'd be happy to share my thoughts with you folks. Holly says, LOL, no, it's just annoying when he times people out for nothing at all. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're still holding 30 in the box, 29 in the box, 19 thumbs up. Yeah, we still have 28 people here. That's interesting. 24 now. Unless that was a new way to bot people to only bot at 50 or 60. Who knows? Who cares? It's just stupid. Doesn't hurt at all. It's just stupid. Oh well. Whoever's here right now, now we're going to see the real numbers. Again, folks, tonight my lady and I are going to be going live from the studio no later than 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. We're going to try to go on sooner. It all depends on how quickly I can turn things around once I end this show, head home, unpack this equipment, set up the stream, make some coffee, get my lady situated on her headset, get me situated in the studio. It's a lot of work to create these shows, but we're going to make it happen for you tonight because, I know people miss having my lady on the show, and they love it when she's around, and they really love the good banter that we have. Hey, Jenny Sadler, how you doing? Have a great night. Hey, thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. I'll just say some people never grow up, Some people never grow up. That's just really, really sad. Saddens me. It's just a moment of silence right now. Folks, there's always a solution to every problem. And whenever my lady At times, I'll stress out. It happens to all of us. I try not to, but it happens to all of us. At times when I stress out, it worries my lady. And, I try to tell my lady, I update her on finances and all that stuff, and where I'm at, where she's at, where we're at combined, and all that stuff, right? Because every day is different. Sometimes things happen that cost you money, right? Sometimes we make mistakes that cost us money, right? And then you have to re-budget, right? And have those conversations, right? And when those situations happen, I'm always saying, you know what, baby? We'll find a way. I always find a way, so we'll find a way. We'll find a way together. I've always found a way, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you folks. No matter what happens to you, no matter what situation you're in, right? Even if the walls are about to close in on you, don't give up. You will find a way, right? And like I even mentioned, as a last resort, if it involves money, you can even file bankruptcy. As long as you haven't filed bankruptcy in the last 10 years, you can file bankruptcy. I believe it may be different in every state, but that's how it is in California. I think that's how it is in most states now, right? There are always things you can do to soften the blow. Even if there are things that you really don't want to do, sometimes that may be your last resort. But when you don't even think you have a last resort, you actually do. You always have a last resort, and your last resort is always going to be the right thing to do in most cases. There's always hope. Well, if you give up on yourself, Holly, or anyone else, then you just give up. Then you fail. Then you're done, right? But if you're a fighter like me, and you fight to work through things, you somehow find a way to live another day, right? And that's the way you need to look at it, folks, is, do the best you can each and every day and fight to live another day. Take it one day at a time. I take things one day at a time. Sure, I plan things in advance. But when it comes to most things, I take it one day at a time. Now, sometimes my lady, because you know how ladies are, they have to have their emotions appeased and stuff, right? So they're going to, how's it going, man? That was my buddy Ramon, and I don't know if that was his woman or who he's with. Probably his wife. It's all good. He said, "Hey, coach, it's all good." Ramon is coming out here every day, trying to get healthy and fit. Mad respect to you, Ramon. I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm just enjoying the beautiful scenery. Enjoying the beautiful scenery. And also, keeping my mind off of things that, I'm currently working through. My lady and I are working through some things, and we're going to be just fine. It's just that, things have been kind of tight lately. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. and I'm just not letting it consume me. I'm not letting it affect me. Is it on my mind? Sure. Am I thinking about it? Yeah. Do I want it to go smooth? Yeah. But I'm gonna wait for that person to pass. I'm not letting it affect me. I'm not letting it affect me from moving forward and doing what I need to do. So it doesn't all fall apart. Because the moment I start to worry about it and let it affect me is the moment where everything falls to pieces. A lot of people are coming on the trail right now. I'm going to wait for these women to pass on by. And they're wearing masks, a guy and a girl. They're wearing masks. Look at them. I just love that area. You do, huh, Holly? Yeah, it's not bad. It's all right. Yeah, it's one of my favorite trails. It's a simple trail to do. It's lengthy on one side, 1 3/4 miles out, 1 3/4 miles back, plus to and from the parking lot. I mean, it's about it's a 3.5 to 4 mile walk. All right, folks, get your final questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in less than 5 minutes. Remember, tonight, in just a few hours, or less than a few hours, around 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, my lady and I will be going live from the studio right here on Coach Eli 2. My lady's got a great topic. We're going to integrate it by asking you questions and answering your questions, comments, concerns in the chat as well. We'll be on for at least an hour and a half max, depending on the turnout. So don't miss out. And I'm hungry. I have got to eat something. I haven't eaten too much today. I had a donut at the AA meeting I went to with my lady. And then I had 2 slices of Wonder Bread, white Wonder Bread, before the trail to get some energy. And a little coffee, and that's it. And I just walked 3.5 plus miles. Got to get on a better eating pattern. Today was just crazy. Look, folks, no matter how good you are with your eating habits and health habits, you're going to have days where there's so much to do and you're overwhelmed. This is going to happen. Just try to minimize it. Nobody's perfect. But I can tell you right now, I need some food in my belly. I'm going to move over here and let these people pass. Well, they're going a different way. Scotty Unchained 2.0. Hey, Scotty, I'm glad you're here. We're about to go off the air. Thank you for stopping by. I'll just say one thing. We have lots of love and respect for you here. We think you're an amazing, amazing purpose. But quite honestly, Scotty, if I was you, I would definitely stop feeding into certain people you've been feeding into out here on this platform. It's just not gonna do you any good. It doesn't do anyone good. There's no upside for you, Scotty. Trust me. It doesn't matter what you think you have or what you actually have. It doesn't matter. It's all fake and instigated. You gotta I've been trying to explain that, and I'm only saying this, Scotty, because I've got a lot of love for you. Right? Everything that you have has been created in a fake way to lead you to believe it's real, so you can talk about it, right? And the more you talk about it, the more content you give people you don't want to give content to. So I don't know what to tell you. I just wanted to say that because I have a lot of respect for you. I think you're a great person. And I think most other people that have been a part of my community for a while that were involved in something similar you're still involved in. I think they've actually risen above it and moved on. I really hope you do so as well too. I know I'm going to stop soon. That's what you say every day. You're going to stop soon, but you don't stop. You can't stop. I was sucked into it for years, Scotty, so I get it. It's up to you, though. No worries. We'll still be friends. Moderator and channel member, Scotty, I know I'm going to stop soon. Just about done with all of that. Honestly, thanks for caring about me so much. Well, that's what we do here. We care about people. We care a lot about people. We do. Let me see. All right, we're leaving 19 in the box. We got 12 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. It went great. I got high hopes for this divorce to go good for me. My lady was asking Scotty how things went today. I know Scotty was mentioning that she went to divorce court today. Well, best of luck to you, Scotty. My lady says fantastic. All right, folks. I got to wrap this up here. My lady and I will see you all by hopefully 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Can somebody tell me what time it is right now? Is it like 6:20 or 6:30 Pacific? 8:30 Eastern? Bye, Holly. It means we got an hour and a half. I mean, it might be shortly after 11 Eastern or 8 Pacific, but we're going to 6:17. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be around 11 Eastern or shortly after 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific shortly after 8 Pacific. So, got to run, folks. We'll see you all later. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.